Tip number 4 is that you can import transcriptions directly into Phon. Now there are many reasons that you may want to import a session into Phon. Sometimes you want to enter your transcriptions separately, or you already have them in another typed format. Or you may just want to generate IPA target transcriptions from a bunch of words that are written orthographically. To import a session, to import a session, we don't need the session editor. We're going to go actually to the project view here, and you go to Tools, Import from CSV. Now, in order to import a file into Phon, it needs to be a comma-separated value file, which is a type of text file that works like a spreadsheet. So you're going to click Import from CSV. The default encoding that Phon wants for these files is UTF-8, which is a pretty common Unicode encoding type. That is because IPA symbols are Unicode. Now you can use other types of file encoding. You just need to know what encoding type your file is and make sure that you've selected the right type. I'm going to show you how to create documents in the UTF-8 encoding type. Now, before we import a file, I'm going to show you how to create the type of document that's needed to import to a Phon session. You need a spreadsheet. You could use Excel, but it's a little complicated due to the encoding. You can use Google Sheets. That allows you to export to the right type of CSV file, as well as programs like LibreOffice or OpenOffice also have that capability. The structure of the spreadsheet that you need to create is pretty simple. You can import something with as little as a single tier of information. So if you wanted to just import orthography, you would create an orthography tier and have the words written along the column. Each line corresponds to a new record in Phon. So here I've entered the orthography for the words from our little word list here. You can also import directly IPA target transcriptions, IPA actual transcriptions. You could import a notes tier. Another useful one is the speaker name, which allows you to specify who the speaker is for all of these utterances, rather than them just being set as unidentified by default. You could also specify the segment. This allows you to import a file that's actually already segmented if for some reason you have that information about where these words are produced in some audio file. But these are a bit more advanced. For the most part, you're going to be using these 3 tiers. And for this first example, we're actually going to import something that's just orthography. So that's all you need. Just the column structure is the most important. So I've got this file. I'm going to download it as a comma-separated values file. Save as. Now we're just going to put this on the desktop. Sample transcription. Save. All right. I've got this file on the desktop, so I'm going to choose the folder where this is located, and that's going to be the desktop. Select the folder. I'm going to choose where I want to save it. I want to save it to my sample corpus. It'll show you all the possible files that could be imported, and you select which ones. So you can actually import a lot of files at one time if that's helpful to you. Next. Now I haven't set any participants, and that's fine with me. Now you can see that I'm only importing orthography. Once you can click close, you're done. Now let's open up this session that I've created. And you can see it's got the orthography already filled out for me. And because I didn't specify a speaker, it says unidentified. Now I can use the same process we did before and generate the IPA target automatically, rather quickly, just like this. Now let's see what it looks like. I'll close this. Now let's see what it looks like if we add more information. So another reason you might want to import a session is if it's more convenient or faster for you to transcribe the IPA outside of Phon. And for me, that's the case because I have a program which changes my keystrokes to IPA symbols. So I'm going to add the IPA Actual only because the IPA target can be generated easily in Phon. So let's pull up once again our transcriptions, and I'm going to turn on my IPA tool, and I'm going to transcribe. All right, and I'm done. So for me, that's a little bit faster than using the IPA map in Phon. We'll do the same process. Download a comma-separated values file. Save it to my desktop. I'm going to save over the old file. Sample transcriptions. Tools, import from CSV. Make sure I select the desktop, which is where I saved it. I'm going to add this to, oh, see, my IPA keyboard is still on. There we go. Next. Now, it's important here to check that Phon recognizes this is an IPA Actual tier, and it's going to use an English labifier. If you're transcribing a different language, you are going to want to set the syllable structure for the language that you would like Phon to use. That's done. Let's check it out. And you can see that my IPA Actual is here in Phon. Now, I didn't create the IPA target because I can actually create that pretty easily by filling in the IPA target automatically.